Hello, welcome to Mini Proposal Workshop 17. This is the final version for open workshop for Fund 8. And today, Ondra has joined me to participate in the Eastern Town Hall. Quickly, in this session, we're gonna focus on refining the problem statement. Ondra already has a proposal, so he's gonna bring up a problem statement he already using, and then I help him to have a root cause analyze on the problem statement and see if we can improve it even further. So, Ondra, what's your problem statement?
Okay, my first problem statement would be, should I write it down or should I just say it to you?
You can copy paste me, or you can also put it as a sticky note.
Our original problem statement was to create a bridge between Cardano DAO and the concepts of the decentralized self-organizing organizations, DSOO movement, such as Holocracy.
Create a bridge between
send it to you to the chat.
Sure. Yep, you can also drop the idea scale link because.
Oh, okay, there. Okay, so I'll try to do that directly.
Yep. All right, that's a mouthful. So.
I guess I should explain what the decentralized self-organizing organizations mean. That is concept brought from Holocracy and Humanocracy. They're the concept of decentralized organization, where in these concepts it is suggested that a better form of organization than traditional organization is an organization where the people have freedom to make their decisions and make their own transformation. So it is kind of a living organization which is evolving and is based on circles which are interconnected. And when we were, or I am part of a group of 4, so I will be probably using we. I apologize for that. So when we were thinking about decentralized autonomous organizations as a concept, we were thinking they are not necessarily guaranteeing these concepts of decentralized organizations, because you have this technical part of decentralized autonomous organization, which can be, in which you can put the organization you want to into the blockchain, to the smart contract. There can be any type of organization, and we were thinking it would be good to concentrate on these principles of the decentralized self-organizing organizations and how to make sure that they are put into blockchain.
Okay, concentrating on blockchain aspects. So since you already okay, this is the solution, create the bridge between Cardano DAO and the concepts of the decentralized. So first, we want to word it as a problem statement. So we would say that there is no bridge between Cardano DAO and the concepts of, there is no bridges, concepts and all of the other stuff. So that's the main concern, right?
Yeah.
And if you're talking about Cardano DAO, what you actually mean by that? Are you talking about Project Catalyst or like generally?
Yeah, well, Cardano Cardano is kind of a decentralized autonomous organization, or more or less is emerging decentralized autonomous organization. So I guess we can use Cardano or Cardano ecosystem instead. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we could change it up. There is no bridges between Cardano ecosystem and the concept of decentralized self-organized organizations, movement, justice, holacracy. Does that sound more? Does that still have the meaning of your initial? Yep. Okay, so
yeah, I like it. I like it.
So this is our first solution, and now what I like to do is ask why is the selected problem a problem. So what it means is now we ask why is it a problem that there is no bridges between Cardano ecosystem and just Holocracy?
Well, since the decentralized autonomous organization or the Cardano ecosystem is very young, it is not guaranteed what its future will be. How organized it will be and what kind of people will be the decision makers. And we believe, yeah, okay, so I will probably stop myself there because it would be too long. So that would be the first point. Cardano future is not guaranteed. And the second point would be there is lack of knowledge in the Cardano ecosystem about how to organize and how to do transformation.
And when you're talking about transformations, you're still thinking like how to take from this organizational structure into this organizational structure. So how do you build the structures, or what you mean by transformation?
By transformation, I mean the changes, how to make effective, kind of efficient and effective changes. If I may talk a bit out of this question directly and give you a bit of context.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. The transformation in the traditional businesses, in the traditional corporations, is something which was evolving for hundreds of years. And now you have the enterprise architecture, you have project departments, you have a lot of experience which was gathered over time. So these traditional organizations, which I believe are kind of a competition to Cardano ecosystem, are having an advantage or kind of an edge, and I believe that there is a need for knowledge in the Cardano ecosystem to be moved, to be developed in the transformation space and organizational space, which will be able to make the decentralized autonomous organization as efficient and effective as traditional organizations. And since part of the knowledge is in this DSOO space already, we believe that this thing which can help. So that would be the second point. And I have third one, if I may.
Yeah.
And the third one would be, and it's probably the most important one, we need the Cardano ecosystem to grow, or we want the Cardano ecosystem to grow. And there is organizations which are following similar principles, but they are not participating in the ecosystem. So this will be a way how to bring them in.
And
I think it's amazing how quickly you are able to organize these things.
Well, thank you. Maybe. Okay. There are other ecosystems which have similar principles who do not have way to give input for Cardano ecosystem. Would that be correct?
Not necessarily give input, but participate in it. There are organizations which are working as decentralized organizations, but have still traditional formal organizational structures, and they could be part of it and therefore help to develop it. So if I would rephrase it, have similar principles who do not have way to participate in. Yeah, perfect.
I wonder if that is necessary, that it's not, because I will disagree that there is no way to participate. There is ways, but maybe we want to specify that to participate in change making of Cardano.
Okay, that's you are right. So that's not correct. Principles who do not have way to who do not know how to participate, I would say, or how to become part of the Cardano ecosystem. Okay.
Ecosystem would, as a rule, maybe, because as an individual, I guess they will have ways in, but as a group, it's like harder, maybe.
Even as individuals, they are relatively big. There are relatively big organizations which exist, do their business outside of the Cardano ecosystem, right? They are not starting their own organizations on Cardano using the blockchain. And I think this kind of problem we are seeing is quite technological there. So we would like to work on the technological solutions for them to make it possible to move into a decentralized organizations and to move into being a part of this Cardano ecosystem.
Okay. So now we have hello Nin, just a quick rundown. Ondra has joined with his one of the proposals, so we are refining it. We started with the problem statement: create a bridge between Cardano DAO and the concept of decentralized self-organizations and movement such as Holacracy. And now we started. First, we redefined the problem statement, and once we did that, we started the first iteration through root cause analyzing, like why is it a problem that there is no bridges between Cardano ecosystem and the Holacracy.
Love DAOs.
We brought up 3 points. Cardano future is not guaranteed how organized it is, and there is various lack of knowledge how to make effective changes. And there are other ecosystems who have hard time to, who have similar principles, but hard time to connect with the Cardano ecosystem. Quickly, from top of the head, do you have any other suggestions? Why is it a problem that there is no bridges between Cardano ecosystem and the concepts of decentralized self-organizing organizations? But if you did cover all,
maybe I would have one more point. I think it's a problem for Cardano ecosystem because it's missing on this opportunity.
Principles. I think it's kind of same as the one before, just a different.
Yeah, just different point of view. That is true.
I'm gonna share a motherboard because now, since we have 3 people here, we could try voting, and so I'm gonna set up the voting. So I'll give 2 votes to everybody and 1 minute. I'm gonna select these three. So what we are doing basically is we are scoping down on a particular area we could focus on. So vote, voting, and on the motherboard you should have 4 stickies you could click on, and you have 2 options. So selecting. Another person joined. Hello, Divan. Hey, okay, I already left. And you have to pick the most impactful. And if you're able, we will see kind of a heat map of where we collectively feel like there should be a higher focus. And you can also select only one.
We're supposed to select one and give 2 to one, or can we do 2, 1 each?
Wherever. I
Okay.
only, for example, selected 1.
Cool.
But you have 2 voices. The one I selected did not. Okay, so Ondra, since this is your proposal, this is what we did here, and this helps us to scope down. And one of the mini proposal workshop goal is to get smallest deliverable out of that. I know even if you have a bigger higher goal that yes, you want to focus on education, then you want to also make a bridge between some specific community and give some kind of organizational structure. And this could be put as 3 different proposals, but when you go down as a focus scope, let's say now I will suggest to choose between even because our future is not guaranteed to how organized it is, or there is another ecosystem, and how do you want to connect them. So if you pick one of these, you will, and when you go forward with the solution is then scoped down to solve the specific need, and the team and the KPIs and all of the rest of the reasoning you put down, you can reuse it for the other problems too. So yeah, to make it faster and more smoother, this is the scoping we're doing here. So, and since this is your proposal, what kind of array would focus first? So is it?
In the proposal itself, I believe we focus on the first one. There are other ecosystems which have similar principles, but don't know what to be part of Cardano ecosystem. So that is what we focus on. But I wouldn't mind to go other direction.
Well, that makes sense. But now the question is, what is the other ecosystem? Do you have a specific community you would want to address or connect with, or this is the general? And how would you sell it? Yeah. Okay.
Right now we are in contact with 2 organizations. It's they are traditional companies, but just their inner organizational structure is a decentralized organization. And unfortunately, I am not the one who is in contact with these companies directly. It is my colleague who couldn't make it today. So this is what I know.
But do you know who are they? Even though you're not in contact, but you know any principal what they do, or
yeah. No, actually no. I think one of them was a company which was producing some kind of consultancy or software plus consultancy, something like that. But unfortunately, I don't have this kind of information.
Okay, companies.
And yeah.
And this company is then running on the principles of Holacracy?
Yes. Yes.
You can use Zappos as an example, as a Holocracy. I was gonna say.
Okay, Zappos, like
the shoes, CAPPOS, acquired by Amazon.
I'm gonna put that as another example. Yep, makes sense to have another contact here also. What you focus on. Okay, so let's take this as now we have some kind of knowledge. Okay, there is a technical consultancy which is basically running an Holacracy, and I would assume it's something like I have a technical need, I want the application to be developed, I contact one of the members in this company who is part of Holacracy, and the information then is moving like liquidly through these members of Holacracy based on the requirements I have and the need I have. And it's not going through like, I guess it's still going through like topological structure because the circles, I guess they're on top of each other. Or yeah, I guess I need a little bit more explanation than how does a Holacracy differ from normal component?
There are several principles, and the most important thing is a self-organized organization. So you don't have a traditional managers. You have teams. And those teams are responsible for defining what they are responsible for. They are responsible for their goals. There can be teams which are interconnecting the activities which are focusing on all the teams together. So that there can be interconnected teams, but basically it is you go into the company, or when you are accepted into the company, you decide in what team you want to be in. And there you coordinate, kind of cooperate with the people you create. For example, the team charter, you say who is responsible for what, you say what are your values, you say what are your goals, and based on that you set up some communication tools, some way how to handle the problems which may emerge in between the team. And that's it. Your team is set up, and the organization is basically consists from multiple of those teams which learn how to coordinate and communicate with each other.
Okay, and I would assume like a new team could go into this company, and the decision that yes, they are accepted is done by all the other teams, not by some specific team.
The team itself can make decisions, kind of have its own resources and makes its own decisions. Then they have some kind of KPIs. There are teams which are coordinating activities in between the teams, but the decisions themselves, they are done in the team.
Okay, okay, so the decisions are done in a team. So does it mean that if we set up a team, let's say, okay, we create a team, we can now go to this company and say, we want to be part of this movement. This is our team, this is what we do, and now we're part of it? Or there is still some kind of connections or decision-making have to happen by that company or the umbrella, or in order to accept us as a team?
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, but it is self-organizing. So the teams themselves, they kind of identify the need for growing, right, for other teams, or the need for new members of the team.
Okay, so now let's try to create this into another problem statement, focusing only on onboarding that consultancy. Basically, as a because as a problem statement, you want to kind of be specific enough that what you are solving. And here it is very general, like there are other ecosystems. But if we could somehow incorporate that into I'm gonna try to make this a problem statement first. So, and now the what others is with that other, so that would be then changed. Cardano ecosystem. Maybe it's not an issue that we don't have another because you already have two contacts. So you could, if you go with like this kind of problem statement, that Cardano ecosystem does not have connections with other decentralized self-organizing movements. And then people who are like, who see that as an issue that, oh, then we do need maybe more connections, or they're interested, okay, what connections you're talking about. Okay, and I think the bridges was better word. Does not have bridges with other, with already existing decentralized self-organizing movements, and bridges between, Cardano does not have bridges between already existing decentralized self-organizing movements. And now, if this is a problem statement, then, and people are interested in, then they will see a solution that you have two contacts, you could onboard and create that bridge basically between these movements. How do you feel about this one?
Yeah, I like it very much. I like it very much.
Okay. So yeah, well, I don't have very like special writing skills in the sense that to refine it, but I hope it does get the intention through. And now there is another option. So in these guides, you will see also orange stuff, which is like optional, basically doing the same thing again. Right now I see that there could be a possibility to try it again, and this could get even more root cause, like what is the actual problem you're solving. But in some cases that it's gonna do like a circular loop, and then you have like opportunity to select, okay, what is the avenue you want to pick off. But right now it's quite has been like scoping down. So let's see what this brings up. Why is it a problem? Or maybe it's weird. It's basically the same thing actually, just smaller, more full. Yeah, I think there is no bridge between Cardano ecosystem and the concept of decentralized movements. Yep. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I think there is no need for like pushing it more even down, because we kind of established the same thing again, just less words and
more understandable.
Yep. Okay, let's run with this. So I'm gonna. Did we change it into problem statement already? Yes, we did. Connection does not have, and the answer was this. And now back to solution. So one solution we kind of covered, connect with company 6, connect with company 2, since we don't know the names. But after connecting, what is the things you're gonna do? Is it like, is this proposal going to execute some kind of advisory role between these groups, or?
We would like to be. We would like to basically create a body of consultants which would be available for this kind of activity. And right now, we would like to start with one example. We obviously need to learn ourselves. We do not understand everything which there is in both of those ecosystems, because the transformation domain of these ecosystems, I don't think it's very well explored. But we would like to create a decentralized body of knowledge where the knowledge which is acquired can be shared and refined by all the people. And we would like to create a body of consultants which would be available to help these kind of organizations.
About the nature of the work itself, or how the Holacracy works?
Yeah, doing transparent research on how basically what works for Holocracy and decentralized autonomous organizations, right? I could say we could narrow it down, so it could be just what works for Holocracy in the context of decentralized autonomous organizations, kind of establishing the lessons learned.
Okay, is there so how would you start that research? Is there going to be an like project-based learning method, or there are actually like researchers in the team who are already learning that, or what would be like the day one of, okay, now we need to do the research, what we need to gather, what we need to start?
Well, the first thing would be to connect with one partner and work with them little by little to bring them into the decentralized autonomous organization space. Everything we would learn, we would record and make available into the centralized body of knowledge.
Okay, and when you say DAO space, do you have like a platform, or are you talking about then bringing BIM, hey, here is a project catalyst, here is how you make proposals, this is how the system works? Or
I would like to help them to move into being decentralized autonomous organizations based on Cardano ecosystem.
yeah, okay. This didn't actually answer my question. So
okay,
because yeah,
we believe that there is need for tools which would make it technological tools which would make it possible.
So then is there a research about the existing tools too?
Or
you already have some specific tools you already have that you know that could be used?
There are tools which do not. No, I don't think so. I don't think there is one tool which would be connecting those two spaces. So our job would be to start working on that tool together with that organization.
Okay, so when you're talking about working on it, so you still have some kind of tooling or none of it. So you basically, it's a consultancy. You sit down and you talk about, okay, this is the problems we solve, and this is how these problems usually are solved in decentralized organizations. And now you kind of play through Google Sheets or Google Documents that like the information body we need, and then have like this DAO playing like collective decision making, and I don't know, and from that you kind of derive the tooling information, or you still have some kind of underlying tools which help to do the decision making.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I do understand. Well, there exist tools in both spaces, right? There are the tools which can help you to organize yourself as a decentralized organization, and there are tools which can help you to establish the decentralized autonomous organization. So the way forward would be to work with the tool providers. We already reached out to some of those.
And so now when you're talking about tool providers, then who are they? Basically, that's also an information you want to put on the proposal.
Yeah. Okay. So I have it somewhere. If you give me a second.
Watchers. Meanwhile, hello Muya. I muted you because you have the static noise behind. But welcome to mini proposal workshop. What we're doing here is Ondra had a proposal, and we started refining his problem statement. Now we got into the solution stage. I'm trying to understand the way he wants to solve that problem, and so I'm asking like a guiding questions, and he gives me as much information he's able in order to kind of scope down on the solution set, and basically having a practice through this mini proposal workshop.
So I sent two examples of the providers of tools for the Holocracy movement.
Okay. I'm not sure, Muja, did you talk? But again, there was a lot of static noise, so I muted you again. Okay, so now, what do they? Can you like quickly give like a description? What these providers offer? Is it like an innovation platform, or is it like a voting platform?
It is an innovation platform mostly, and organization and innovation platform.
Both of them, or they have different?
I myself saw just Glassfrog, so I cannot talk for Holaspirit, but I assume yes. Again, unfortunately, this part of the proposal was my colleague.
Okay. So now, as a body of consultancy, I assume one part is that the consultants, the research people who want to learn about like setting up a DAOs and stuff. This is the part of consultancy to providing that research.
Mm-hmm.
And another, is there any like requirements, costs associated with it in order to have that consultancy, or how is there any like how could we as a community use that if this gets funded?
Mm-hmm. Okay, how Cardano community could use those consultants? Well, I believe that there is new projects emerging in the there is push for new open source projects being funded, and I believe having this decentralized knowledge or available knowledge for sharing in between teams and body of consultants which would be able or which would know how to establish decentralized organization which can organize itself effectively and is able to change or transform is a big advantage of these new emerging projects. And I believe that is something which is in the interest of the whole Cardano community. The more projects, the more successful the blockchain, and therefore capable of surviving.
And it kind of moved that to the point back to the research. So whatever you put out could be used as that understanding. Okay, when I set up a DAO, this is the thought process, or these are things I can do, and these are things that won't work, basically.
Yeah.
But when, for example, okay, so it's okay. So it is for teams. So if I'm a single person having an idea, this is not something I come to you. I have to have a team already, or at least idea of what kind of team I need, and then I come to you.
Yeah.
And then the consultancy is you would kind of like fast forward the fact that I go through the research myself, but I can just come to you and ask this question, say, this is the DAO I want to create. It's about, I don't know, seafood, and this is how to grow it in Estonia. These are our stuff. How could I establish it? And then the body consultancy will give the guidance. Okay, if you want to set up a DAO structure, then these are these legal barriers you have to know, and this is how you can find teams. These are places where you could find these people, or how would you vision that?
Yeah, I would agree with all of what you said about the teams, and for the individual, for the one person, we hope to make all the knowledge we learn available, and engage as many people as possible in kind of adding the knowledge, building the knowledge, adding stuff about decentralized autonomous organizations, having there the context, things about regulations, this kind of stuff. So hopefully there will be relevant information also for the individuals. They could kind of have a look on the decentralized body of knowledge, or if it wouldn't be directly for them, at least it would help the content creators in the space, and they could use this knowledge to help the individuals by creating relevant content.
Okay, giving them context and content, how to organize like this.
Yeah.
And for teams, it's basically the same thing, or there is something else for the teams?
For the teams, there would be I believe there is the possibility to get involved directly. The consultants could get involved directly and working with the teams to help them to achieve the basically successful transition. And obviously the consultants which would participate on that would then be rewarded in some kind of share of the project if the project would go public.
But as for requirements, so now the requirement is the need of the focus group of wanting to work or do something with the DAOs and to establish that. But is there going to be some kind of cost associated, or like a bandwidth, how many teams you can consult?
Well, the cost is on the consultants themselves, right? Is that the correct answer? I can expand on that.
It is a correct answer, but that would mean that it's like a free service.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So there has to be we would have to have some initial funding to make it interesting for the consultants who are coming in, obviously. But then the consultants would be rewarded based on the successful projects. And the other part of the equation, because now we are talking how it helps Cardano from the point of the teams which are in Cardano. And the other part of equation is to bringing the organizations which are having similar ideals of Cardano, the holocracy-based organizations, into Cardano. So those organizations could be potentially capable of paying the consultancy services right away. But there are two potential customers. One customer is the startup, which is present on Cardano and wants to grow, and that has to be there has to be a kind of a dotation of money from our part, so the consultancy can happen. And if the project is successful, then the rewards is gathered. And the other potential customer is already existing organization outside of the Cardano space and bringing them into kind of this Cardano ecosystem.
This has clarified quite nicely. Now let's pick. Okay, I think we are only focused on creating a body of consultancy and the transparent ratios. I'm wondering how could we wrap that both up as a solution. So is creating a DAO an end goal of this consultancy body, or it's
successful DAO? I think just creating DAO it's not interesting, right? It has to be, but we believe creating DAO is the means to an end, to creating a successful decentralized self-organizing organization.
Serves to help create serves to help create successful, and let's just write it down. If there is enough letters, because there's a limit. I wonder if there is some, because the rest of the stuff, this can be like put down as a detailed plan, like, okay, how it would look like. Okay, these are the partners and teams and tools we're gonna use. But like the main body of the proposal, it has to catch an eye. Okay, and to attract the people who needs to be attracted. So let's see. Cardano ecosystem does not have bridges between already existing decentralized self-organizing movements. And our solution is to service. Okay, so, and now just to double check, we can why the solution is solving the selector problem. So if we have this promise statement, remove things a bit around. Now we need, let's inverse it to make sure that we established we actually provide what we provide. Okay, so how are we solving the problem when we have that service?
The existing decentralized self-organizing movements can order the service to become the decentralized autonomous organization.
But now there is a good question, because it didn't actually create a breach between Cardano ecosystem, but it created a breach between the service and you and the team.
Yeah, you are right. But is it okay? Because if we want establish the decentralized autonomous organization on Cardano ecosystem, then we are obviously doing what we want to do, and we are helping just ourselves, and we are not helping the Cardano ecosystem. But if we would kind of guarantee that the service would exist on top of the Cardano ecosystem, then we created the bridge, or didn't we?
Not sure. Kinda, but I wouldn't say that everybody would see that. I would say that yes, many of the voters will look like that. He has a service company and he just uses Cardano ecosystem to get funding in order to give that consultancy. So Yeah, and another thing is the Glassfrog, Holaspirit, and all these tool providers are also not built on Cardano. So that is that part. So we would need to be looking for partners in the Cardano ecosystem in order to like at least bring up the transactionals.
We would definitely, well, the point that we want to get is to work with partners like Glassfrog, Holaspirit, and together with them, make changes in the tools they are using, so it can be on the Cardano ecosystem. When I'm thinking about it, can we go to the service statement one more time? Establishing service to create and maintain a successful decentralized autonomous organization. I think a big part of what we want to do, and which is missing from that statement, is that we want to make the knowledge we gain publicly available. But no need to write it yet. I'm just thinking if that actually answers the creating a bridge into the Cardano part. Does not have bridges between already existing decentralized self-organized movements.
Yeah, it has a better ring to it compared to, but yeah. Reshares. But the difference there is that if you bring only the reshares on front, then yes, it has a better look. But the downside is that reshares is like you kind of do it and then it's done. With the service, you have the opportunity. Oh, it's a long term, and if you could connect that service to a reshares, it's like, okay, this is a long-term reshares. And now, and the missing part here is like, how do we connect the Cardano ecosystem with it?
Okay, and if it would be established service to create and maintain successful decentralized autonomous organizations on Cardano ecosystem, which is basically the thing I said before, and you said it is not sure. I'm not sure about it. Then it in my eyes it kind of answers the question.
Yeah, I'm still not sure about it. Maybe if we butcher the problem statement a little in a way that now then we moving away from that. You see, this is thinking about ideating on problems. This what you said is something you need to write actually down. So bringing more entities. So not only creating a body of consultancy, but yeah, but that's the point. Because now you have like it's like a beacon of where those people could come who doesn't even know about Cardano, or like, but I want to create a DAO. They come to you, but then yeah, and then the research has to be then oriented around what Cardano has learned. Yeah, this is why a bigger group is better, because they, yeah, my knowledge of DAOs is a bit limited, and running companies and consultancy. But let's put that as a why, because that was a good one. So this helps companies is outside the ecosystem to learn and to learn about Cardano. But here, when we do a transparent research in the context of Cardano DAO, maybe, because then, yeah, thinking out loud, but you can also do that. So the idea here is that when you do a research and what works, what not, you also compare that with Cardano ecosystem compared to like you have options on Ethereum and Cosmos or whatever. But if the research is always focused, because there is so many like research you could do, but if you stay focused on what we have in here and using that as example, hey, here in this Cardano community, these people are doing this kind of DAO, and these are the tools they are using. And here is the like an overall, what works, what doesn't, and they are using these things of what works on this. And now they have like a user stories of Cardano communities and the bridges between. So we kind of need, if you focus on DAOs on Cardano, then it's about Cardano ecosystem. Because if we would use some other examples like MakerDAO or I don't know what else we have, then it would go outside of the Cardano ecosystem, and then you're not building bridges between that. But would then something like connecting teams in Cardano be part of the consultancy? So when company comes along and they have a mission about changing like climate change, like a carbon DAO, and you already have an example of, hey, there is a Cardano DAO doing that stuff, would that consultancy also being like connecting these kinds of DAOs or like this new who want to create a DAO, the existing ones, or it would only focus on establishing it and not really connecting?
We were not thinking about connecting completely, honestly. We were thinking about creating the body of knowledge where people can share information, but that's not what you are saying. And I like what you are saying. I think it's a good point. Connecting the existing DAOs is a good point, something which is new for me.
But yeah, because this will give that circular economy in a sense that if you also connect and you do research about DAOs, then you find out, oh, this is now you learn about this DAO, and then I think this is would be nice, because if you do the research anyway, you're gonna learn about what works in their DAOs, and when you know what works in DAOs and what their missions, what their values, how their structure works, the new person who come in, you can already say, oh, all you need is this, because everything else already kind of works. And you kind of and you connect these like open circles in a sense, which could onboard the new DAO and just make the core bigger. Yeah, okay. So this helps the companies outside the cost to learn about Cardano, and now we added the opportunity to connecting Cardano DAO and connecting DAOs with, because in a DAO sense you can also have DAOs of DAOs. Right? There's a one DAO which has like different DAOs under it and like reputation and stuff. And Cardano DAOs with new organizations. But I wonder if does that change a bit? Establish a service to create and maintain successful decentralized to create, connect,
amendment. Yeah.
Okay, and one more. Could we squeeze out one more? And it.
I think this knowledge, if gathered, can be also used to the benefit of the Cardano ecosystem, but that's probably not directly to the problem statement. It's now when I think about it.
The knowledge, the body of. No, it's still good. it's maybe not directly, but one thing, right, because this what we're doing here is an ideation board. It's not an actual proposal, and having these sticky notes of like why you still can put that as under a proposal in an impact, in a sense that, hey, think about it. If we create this body of knowledge, it's gonna have a future impact for everybody else who want to do that kind of service itself, or want to self-organize their teams and like learn on their own way. That is now research material to follow, because you're doing it transparently, and that's the. Okay, let's take that in. Check. We got a little more time. Yeah, I would like to try if we can get to the title. So, because these three things are like the main stuff people see first. This is like the draft stage, even though draft stage is already over by far. So, have you thought about the branding for your service? For example, right now you had like an overarching problem statement at the start, where you kind of wanted to tackle several things, both education, research, onboarding, and kind of value alignment. And now if you would break these down into different proposals. So one proposal of, okay, this is the exact research we're gonna do. This is the exact people we're gonna onboard. And will then there be a brand for your like company, or the way that if you have several proposals, then like a common name, or you think there is no branding needed, and that's like a holistic proposal, and there should be just a title which is on point?
I'm not sure I understand completely, because branding in terms of name of a company, or yeah. Okay. Well, so far we are using the name Pragmatic DAO, but we didn't have many discussions about it yet, and it just came from some pragmatic principles we follow, and that we want to be a DAO ourselves.
Would that be at some point, or that would be from the beginning, or that would be when you're established and then transform?
We are not able to do it from the beginning, probably. So we are thinking about having the kind of a first project, which would be a bit centralized, because it would be a relatively small group of people, and we will be learning how to bring on more people, how to get more decentralized over time.
And the title itself, what names you would give to this proposal, as you see there?
Should I forget about everything and think about it based on we did, or should I just give you the title we already produced?
You can give that, and both. I think in the titles, I will try to also come up with one or two names. And yeah, since we have only two of us here now, I think the voting is not necessary. But just to have like a selection, because I guess you will show that my report to your friend too. Hey, check what I did.
Yeah,
and
then, of course. So the original name of the proposal is Enable Cardano DAO for New Users.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny because yep, you don't have to use this as a brand name in the proposal name itself. But yeah, this is something I've been always using, like having the company or the brand name in the title itself. But yeah, all the proposals I've been mainly doing is that I have duplicate of that. So when people see, okay, this is that mini proposal, or this is that pragmatic DAO, you already know what they're about.
Oh, that's so you kind of set the brand, and you can reuse it because people already didn't know it. It clicks with them. That's not bad, actually.
But in your case, if I don't know, are you going to be like ongoing thing? Because if it's gonna be an ongoing thing, it's gonna be easier. Because right now, considering how far we have scaled, running through 1,000 proposals, there is a fact that people are gonna look for similarities, things they already spend time on and kind of already supported. And if somebody supports pragmatic DAO and they kind of read your problem statement and solution, they might not go into too much detail. They just check the score and they see, okay, community advisors think it's a 4 or more. And I already read about it last time. Let's go. So there is that kind of.
So could it be something like be pragmatic, and then there would be the title itself behind it?
Yeah, for example. So I would say like pragmatic DAO, and then you could also say enable Cardano DAO for new users. But yeah, or like I gave a few examples here. Service for DAOs, DAO pragmatic DAO, DAO support, pragmatic DAO, transform your group to DAO. But I don't know, there is maybe better version would be, since you already have a DAO in the name, they don't maybe want to use it, reuse it all the time. So pragmatic DAO, support for decentralized. Support for decentralization.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Because the title is mainly should be just a catchy slogan, and it would be nice if it has something to do with proposal. Well, I think it has to, but these names kind of all of them give that insight. Okay, it's a support. Of course, support for decentralization could mean a lot of things, but when people read about it, then the next thing is gonna be a problem statement, and they're like, okay, it's about connecting Cardano ecosystem with other organization movements. And when they read the solution, then they already know what you're doing, what it's about. And if that sells, that if that gives like a click, then now the game is that in the impact you very much bring out the.
I think I kind of got that somebody was against using the grow Cardano in the titles, and there is the fine line to walk, because I was thinking about this thing, and at some point I was like, it's grow the user base or grow the community, and then I was like, yeah, but grow Cardano is not supposed to be used because it is kind of a clickbait, right? And everybody is using it. So is there some kind of line to?
I don't know about line, and this is the first time I heard that.
Okay.
Grow Cardano is overused. Maybe it was overused in a sense that there is a lot of community onboarding that was done in last funding challenges, but they were challenge proposals, and that was a little bit branding too, I guess, because because we were like replicating, building communities on different languages and different how to say this planetary shifts. I don't know, I just forgot the word in English. Like you see the like USA, Europe, Russia, like this bigger concepts, and like growing the community on these different planetary locations was the goal. And so I guess it was easy to make a lot of them and kind of make it a meme, because a lot of them also got funded in several funds. And this is it for the proposal workshop. And final question for you would be, did it help you, and how could I make this process a bit better?
I think it's really good. I really liked it. I probably won't have suggestions on improvement right now, right here. So I really appreciate it. It's really good, and